Let's fix the camera for a few minutes. It's something about small YouTubers who don't have TV staff to help us. Today is June 28th, 2022. Okay, will there be a global food crisis? So that's our topic for this live stream episode. Will there be a global food crisis? So Jason here for the Hagbayon Channel. I am a businessman, entrepreneur, actor, writer, musician, particularly a rock guitarist, martial arts enthusiast, blade designer, outdoors aficionado, and prepping slash survivalism hobbyist. And this channel, Hagbayon Channel, is a small YouTube channel devoted to um, current events, literature, of course, rock music, blade culture, martial arts, the outdoors prepping, and survivalism and whatnot. Our question for this afternoon is whether or not there will be or there is already a global food crisis. Are you starting to feel it? Are we starting to feel it? Are we starting to feel the hunger? Hungering? Right. Well, apparently there is because experts say so. Right? Experts say so, and incidentally, in the May 2022 issue of The Economist, in said publication, the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres says that the global food shortage is already here and it could happen, it could last years. Okay, this is according to Antonio Guterres. Should I pronounce it Gutierrez? Our United Nations Secretary General. And in another publication, US News.com, he also says that there is a risk that multiple famines will be declared in 2022. So that's quite alarming and a bit unsettling. There's a risk, no? There's a risk that multiple famines will be declared in 2022. So what do we mean by famine? That's widespread scarcity in food, widespread hunger. Okay, so it also says that no country, okay, no country will be immune from the coming global food crisis. It's quite a gloomy prediction, really. Well, outside it's also gloomy where I am, and quite rainy. Reason why I choose to just come out here and hang out online and do a live stream because it's gloomy. I can't go out. I can't ride my bike or my motorcycle to the farm, so I better just stay for the meantime. But maybe I can still go out later. We will check. We will know. All right. Um, according also to the Secretary General, uh, he thinks one solution for this problem is to, you know, allow for relief, kind of a moratorium or debt relief for poor countries, uh, countries with, you know, outstanding debts from other countries or from the World Bank. So he suggests that these countries are given some sort of allowance or moratorium or relief or debt relief from said uh, money that they owe the World Bank and other countries. And according to him, according to the Secretary General, the cause, okay, the cause for the food crisis or the coming food crisis is increase in prices, increase in prices of fertilizers and of energy resource, particularly oil, fossil oil, fossil fuel. I mean, so energy prices increase in fertilizers somewhat is contributing to the crisis. Okay, yes, the answer is there is a food crisis and it could go worse, and it's coming for us. According to experts, yes, there is. And uh, here in the Philippines, in the issue of in the Philippine Daily Inquirer issue last week, Agriculture Secretary William Dar, okay, he says that we, the consumers, no, will feel more of the food crisis toward the last few months of 2022. So there is already a food crisis. Maybe you're feeling it, or maybe you're not. But you are expected. We are expected to feel more of the food crisis towards the last few months of 2022, perhaps the last quarter of 2022. So right now, maybe it's quite fine. Enjoy your, enjoy your food items or grocery, but perhaps in the latter part of this year, maybe there will be scarcity, in the supermarkets and in our groceries. And he says that the cost, no, the cost of this food crisis, as per his, as per his view, is that is due to the disruption of shipment of various products, commodities, energy, energy products, oil, fossil fuel, petroleum. There is disruption of shipment due to the, of course, we all know about this, the Russian Ukrainian conflict there at Eastern Europe. And for him, the solution is to revive the so-called plant, plant uh, program. So there's now a revival of the plant program of the government, and it was launched last March. Also, the government, particularly the Department of Agriculture, has been giving out some kind of dole outs um, in the form of fertilizer subsidies. It now has amounted to 20 billion. Okay, fertilizer subsidies, 20 million by now. That's the solution of the government aside from the plant program. So, therefore, what are the causes? Main causes of this global food crisis that we are supposed to be having. In the main, we already mentioned some of the causes, but in the main, the causes are, of course, the war right there at Eastern Europe between Russia and Ukraine. And the war has caused disruption, blockade of shipments, and the shipments would include commodities, products, particularly energy products, tools, etc. And because of the disruption of shipments, there's also increase in oil prices, energy prices. And you know very well when there's increase in energy or oil prices, what would follow? Okay, increase in other commodities, increase in other products, increase in other basic commodities and products. Well, primarily due to the great expense by middlemen and businessmen in transporting said products. So they have to also increase the prices. And there will be scarcity because many of the tracking, tracking services, tracking operations will be also disrupted or will also be, somewhat disturbed. And many of the operations will be halted. So there, another cause in the main is that the global food system is already weak. Already weak because of the COVID-19 issue, COVID-19 pandemic. So it already has difficulties, problems already in our food system, food delivery system, uh, plus the war. So, and of course, climate change. Climate change, weather disturbances, weather, changes in weather patterns, so that our crops, production of crops gets a little bit, or not really a little bit, gets, disrupted, and our agricultural, products, they get affected because the land is confused. The land is confused because of or nature is confused, or maybe the plants are confused because of the changes in weather patterns. Storms, typhoons are a little bit stronger now. There. So the question now is which food types will be the first to go scarce? O anong mga pagkain ang unang mawawala? So what type of food? According to experts, poultry products, eggs, and also meat products. So they actually even recommend that we go vegetarian. That we go vegetarian because meat products will be scarce, and particularly egg products as well, poultry products. They're related, chicken, poultry, meat. So we try to eat veggies more, which is actually one way for the. I think it's one way uh, for the planet to actually rest and impress upon us that because we eat too much meat, we have all these problems. A lot of forest reserves are actually transformed into what we call as grazing land for cattle because of the current society's penchant penchant for eating meat, because of our love for meat. Many of the forest reserves, forest areas get uh, transformed into grazing land for cattle. That's why we now have less forested areas, and it's somehow contributing to climate change and its disruption in ecology, the biosphere, and all that, and it causes great floods, landslides, and all that. Well, what do I do? I mean, personally, what aside from I also try not to eat meat. Tamsak from Noah Aleph Official. Thanks there, Manoy. Um, what do I do? Well, for my part, I try to prioritize our farms, and you should also should do that also. I try to prioritize our farms. I do have a lot of other activities as well. I have my postgraduate studies, etc., and teaching, teaching job that I really I'm not doing it right now, so I'm on leave. I'm prioritizing our lands in our farms. That's my, response to this. And what do I get there? We harvest coconuts, we harvest bananas, palay, something we call as natong, fruits from our flowering trees. We have avocado, santol, pili. That's pili nut. So we have pili nuts, etc., etc. Anahaw, anahaw leaves. We have them, etc., etc. So there, I prioritize my our lands or our farms. I actually prioritize it uh, more than actually having employment. Um, Farm business is good business so long as you really attend to it and you really work hard on it. Right. Also, what another thing I do is I invest on myself, particularly on my cardio. I walk, I do long walks and make my heart strong, and so that I can cover great distances. I also invested in mountain bike, so I could save up on fuel. Mountain bike, mini mountain bike, something like that. So most of the time I just hike and I just walk because it's beneficial to just walk. It actually saves you money, and also many of our lands actually require long distance walks or hikes, and these lands are not accessible via motor vehicle, even motorcycles. Okay, speaking of motorcycles, I also invested in a motorcycle. So I ride motorcycles now, and I use it when I cannot access the place via hiking, or I cannot access the place via bicycle. So I use the motorcycle, and soon, of course, also we already have the four-wheel drive car for it. But then again, it's not so advisable because of the expense, rising cost of fuel. And one tool that I really like, I really promote, because this is also a Filipino martial arts channel and also a blade culture channel, is the bolo, because the bolo is the symbol for farming and food production. And this particular bolo is what I really use. This is the bolo that I carry in the farm. So as you can see, this is worn out and well used there. The symbol of what? The symbol of food production in the Philippines. This is the tool of the farmer, right? So I also carry one. Only that this can double as kind of a fighting blade in Filipino martial arts or Cimarron fighting arts. We also own a bolo. So as I always say, own a bolo and save the world. According to Lieutenant Prado, bolo is life. Because according to him, his bolo is the extension of his arm during combat, and it is therefore his life. So bolo is a symbol for food production and symbol for survival. All right, so I think that's it for this tambay online tambayan. Because you know what, we really need to also talk about this online. There's so many channels out there, really great channels with lots of followers, all that TikTok channels, and you know what? Uh, we still have to create content that is a little bit more relevant to our way of life or our needs, regardless of views. Regardless of followers. It's so easy to create channels that are funny. You can employ, you can employ people to appear in your channel and all that. funny people for views and all that. That's easy. You can easily do that. But you know what? I still think that we still ought to have content that is somewhat relevant, because food production is very important. And let's think about it. When there is food crisis, even if you have employment, even if employment you have salary, food will be scarce and food will not be available for you to buy in the supermarket because there's no supply. What else? Food is expensive now. By then, I mean, you have money, but you cannot buy anything with your money. So, as I said, maybe it's a wise idea to prioritize food production as well in your farms, etc. So there will there be a global food crisis? Yes, there will be, and actually there is, according to the experts. And what are the causes? We already know the causes: climate change, global food system already weakened by COVID, increase in oil prices, disruption of shipments due to the war. I hope the war in Ukraine and in Russia ends soon. And of course, which food types will be scarce? Poultry products, eggs, meat. But then again, soon other products will follow. Me, what do? I prioritize our farms and I invest on my cardio so I can walk long distances and I can bike long distances. Inupa channel. Um, I also have my bolo all the time, which is something I love because this is the symbol of food production and the symbol of survival. And as I always say, have a bolo, save the world. Visit my channel, visit my channel also the page. It's also a channel. My YouTube, I know my Facebook page, the Minasbad Shop and Hagbayon Channel. Alright, Jason here for the Hagbayon Channel and TMS Talks. Remember, the pen is mightier with a sword. Thanks for joining me. Let's check those. Join me, Nupa Channel, Noah Aleph Official. Some Korean characters. Alright, another live stream concluded. So I am happy because I have not been doing live streams. It's raining outside. I hope the rain stops so I can go out and ride my motorcycle and go to the farm and check on the pili harvest. I'm supposed to go there. I was supposed to go there early in the morning, but the rain. All right. Thanks for joining me. I hope I can visit your channel soon. And be safe. Be safe.